Hello. It's about 11 a.m. and just hit the record button and start to record this. Gonna wait a couple of more minutes to see if anybody joins before I go through the presentation. So just want to welcome everybody who is going to see this and who is going to join. It'll be a few minutes, so just bear with me. So it's just about 5 minutes after 11, so I'm gonna kind of go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen here. So today, what I'm going to talk about is taking control of your money. Some people may know about this, some people may not, but I just wanted to share this information, give people something to think about. Would like to, at the end of this, if anybody wants to work with me in regards to this investing strategy, I will leave my information. Please reach out to me. This is a great way to take more control. Currently saving and taking out of that is saved up, and there's options out there for everyone to take advantage of. It's 401ks and other retirement accounts. Do you even know what your money is being invested in? Do you know how much unknown risk you are taking, or your company or whoever is controlling the 401k is taking with your money? Usually people pick moderate or aggressive plans, but do you really know, what the money is being invested in? Have you ever met the person or the representative from that company? Have they ever come and talk to you? Do they call you on the phone? Do they kind of go over, what they've been investing your money in? Has it been a good investment? Has it been a bad investment? What type of gains or losses have you made? Have you ever spoken to that particular, like I said, from that company or that person that is making these decisions for you? What safeguards do you have if an investment goes bad or doesn't perform, like it was anticipated? Does that company give you any safeguards or any assurances that, if they do make a bad investment, that money will be given back to you? Or is there anything to guard against making a bad investment? So these are some of the things that, maybe most of us don't think about. When we are turning our money over to a 401k company or any type of retirement plan, you really should ask yourself these things. Maybe some of you, do speak to the company or speak to a representative on a regular basis, but from my experience, most people don't. They just give the money, and they pretty much hope that the company does right by it. And so there's a way that we can, take more control and have more of a say so in what, goes on with the money. And that is that you can take your 401k or any type of retirement account and put it into what is called in the industry a self-directed IRA. That's an IRA in which the IRA owner directs all investments in the account. The only difference between what you currently have is that the self-directed IRA has a broader spectrum of investments to choose from. So what you probably have at your current company, there's pretty limited as to stocks, bonds, maybe some mutual funds and things like that, that particular person or that particular company invest in. But with the self-directed IRA, you have the ability to tell the company what you want to invest in, and where you want where you want to see your money go to. So it gives you ultimately, more control. And this is not to say that you don't want to maybe keep what you have with your particular company if you have made some good gains and it's been performing, at what you feel is a good performance. You don't necessarily have to stop that account, but what you may want to consider is taking a portion of that money and maybe putting it into a self-directed IRA so you can have more control over that and kind of see how, over a year, over a 2-year period, how each are performing. If your self-directed IRA is performing much better than what you have at your company, maybe you want to take the rest of the money and bring it over, or maybe keep a smaller balance in what in the account that the company runs, and maybe move more of your funds over to a self-directed IRA because of the gains that you are seeing. So the types of self-directed IRA accounts, I have a typo there, I apologize about that. There are personal plans, which is pretty much a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. Now, I'm not going to get into all the specifics about each. This is just pretty much an overview of the accounts that most people have. And you may find yourself having one or more of these accounts. The personal, like I said, a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. Employer plans, maybe for like the self-employed person, you kind of go into a SEP IRA or simple IRA or what is called a solo 401k plan. And then there are specialty plans, which are health savings accounts, which most people use for any type of medical expenses normally. And the Coverdell education, usually people open these up, for their children once they get to college age, or even sometimes in high school. If you go to a private school, you can use these funds to pay for that education. So these are all the different types, and your personal situation. Again, you could have one or more of these accounts, but just know that all of these accounts can be moved into a self-directed IRA. And again, where you would have more control over where the money gets invested and what it doesn't get invested into. So some of the restricted or prohibited transactions, when you do have a self-directed IRA, or if you are thinking about moving the money into a self-directed IRA, there's certain things that you can do and certain things that you can't do. And they're pretty much broken down into people restrictions. They also have investment restrictions and prohibited transactions. So the people restrictions, disqualified persons are those who cannot benefit from or enter into a transaction with an IRA. That would be yourself. Personally, you could not do a transaction or directly benefit from a transaction with an IRA. You or your spouse or your spouse's parents, your children or their spouse, and lineal descendants. That's a person who is in direct line to an ancestor, such as a child, a grandchild, great-grandchild. So those types of, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, those are pretty much people who are prohibited from benefiting directly from a transaction in the IRA. Also, businesses that have any of these people that manage or receive compensation or employed by. So those people are disqualified from benefiting, from a transaction. Next, you have the prohibited transactions. The disqualified people cannot buy, sell, trade, loan, or extend services with the IRA or receive the benefit directly or indirectly. So those are the, prohibited transactions when it comes to investing with a self-directed IRA. And then you have the investment restrictions. You cannot use the money in a self-directed IRA to invest in life insurance contracts or collectibles, which are artwork, rugs, antiques, metals, gems, or alcoholic beverages. Those are some of the things that are prohibited from investing in. So you might ask yourself, well, who can invest in? What can you invest in? You can invest in real estate. You can invest in private entities like LLCs, limited partnerships, and trusts, and then also promissory notes. These notes could be secured loans or unsecured loans, mortgages, convertible notes, shared appreciation, net profit notes. So these are some of the things that you can invest in, and that's kind of where I would like to talk to people who would be interested in possibly investing in real estate or promissory notes. Um, there is an opportunity where you can see some good returns, and then obviously with this type of account, you're using it moving towards your retirement, things of that nature. So you have a longer time um, that you can be in an investment and see a greater return. So that would be something where I would want to speak to the person about, what their goals are and what type of returns they're looking for, and see if we can present an opportunity to get them involved in real estate in some form of fashion. The reason why that is because, right now we're in this pandemic, and, a lot of people don't know what's going to happen, or looking at some uncertainty, especially within the real estate market. But there are going to be some opportunities. Unfortunately, there will be people who will, need help, need some assistance to kind of, get through this difficult time. And a lot of people don't realize that their IRA account, can be used to help these people and invest and make higher returns. So this is, why I'm trying to bring this information to people to, who don't think that they have money that they can invest or get involved in certain investments. And maybe you don't want to do real estate, but you have the ability to invest in, maybe there's a local business. Maybe you know somebody that has a business and, needs some support during this time, and you can help them and, get their business up and running, and then you can see a return from that business. So again, it's more about, having control, being able to make your own investing decisions, and being able to help people that you come in contact with. And a lot of times people say, well, I don't have a certain amount of money saved up in my account, so I can't do these things. But if you have any one of those accounts that I mentioned before, there is a possibility of using that account to invest in different things in different ways. And these are just like three of the ways that you can invest the money. And so here, like I said, I deal with real estate notes, and some people may know what that is, may not know what it is. So I'm just going to talk briefly about the note side of things and some of the possibilities there. I'm going to talk about what is a note, what is a mortgage, why invest in notes, different types of notes that you can invest in, and some of the exit strategies with those notes. So when you purchase a house, there will be a note and a mortgage. Some states, they, have different verbiage for this. It's called deeds of trust or trust deed. They have different ways of describing what is essentially a note and a mortgage. The note shows the terms for paying for the property, the interest rate, the purchase amount, length of term to pay. It is essentially an IOU. Um, And so you have the ability to purchase these future payments that are coming in. And you can buy those payments, and then obviously you start to receive uh, that monthly income. And that monthly income will be going back into your IRA. And again, you could see most likely higher returns than what you're getting currently in the IRA, because a lot of times the interest rates on these notes are 7, 8, 9, 10, and even higher percentages. So that money would be going back into your IRA. The mortgage is what the buyer gives to the lender as collateral for the loan or the security agreement. Um, so what we would be buying is that IOU, which is essentially that note. So you want to know like why invest in notes? They have a a low risk, and you usually get higher returns in that. Let me pause this for 1 second because my slide is not showing all the information. So give me 1 second. So there's low risk because all notes are backed by the property. Again, right now, when you're investing in a stock, a bond, or a mutual fund, there's really nothing that backs that investment in case something goes wrong with it. In the case of investing in notes, you can always take back the property to be able to recoup your investment if something goes wrong. I mean, if you buy a bad stock, you just buy a bad stock. You buy a bad bond or a mutual fund doesn't go good. There's really no way to, uh, right that wrong, so to speak. But with a note, I mean, it is backed by the property. And so you can always take the property back, sell the property, rent it out again. There are some different strategies that you can do at that particular point, which we'll talk a little bit more about in detail, towards the end of the presentation. Notes are purchased below the value of the property. So basically, you're purchasing them at a discount and less than what the value of the property is. An example, property may be worth $100,000, but you may be purchasing the note, which is the unpaid balance on that particular property, for let's just say 60,000, or you might even purchase it for less than that. It all depends on um, how much money you have and the note itself. But um, most people can feel safe knowing that they've purchased something at 40, 50, 60%, 70% of what it's actually worth, because if something does go wrong, that you purchased something that's worth more. So the likelihood of you losing out on your money is very low. So that's a great thing about note investing. Uh, when you purchase at a discount, the return on investment or your yield will be strong. Um, Again, we are paying for the future payments with today's money. Many note holders would like to get a lump sum instead of waiting for those future payments. So that's why we can buy at a discount. Um, in that example I gave, if there's an unpaid balance of 60,000, but that note holder is going to have to wait 10, 20, 15 years so they could collect all of that 60,000. But what they'll do is a lot of times they'll say, okay, for today, I'll take $40,000, and then you can collect those payments over time. And why it's so good to do within your IRA is because, again, you're looking down the line. You're looking to retire in 10 years or 15 years or whatever the case may be. Even if you're thinking about retiring in 5 years, you can buy notes that have less time or more time on them, just depending on your situation. And you've actually purchased that for less than what all of those payments would be after that 5, 10, 15, 20-year term is. So when you're ready to retire, or take that money out and be able to take it out, you would have collected most likely more payments than what you paid for. And then again, even if it pays off early, you are still owed a certain amount. Uh, you're still owed all of that unpaid balance. So even if the unpaid balance is, let's just say 60,000, and you've purchased that note for 40,000, you're still owed that balance. And then as time goes on, obviously that balance comes down. But in the meantime, you've collected monthly payments. So once you add in all the monthly payments that you paid plus the payoff, you are going to see a significant return on your initial investment. Um, so, uh, and then, like I said, we're going to talk about the exit strategies a little bit later. You're not, going to be a landlord. So, if anything happens in the property, people don't call you. I don't know if anybody listening to this is a landlord, and if you enjoy landlording, that's fine. But in this instance, you just receive payments. You don't have to be concerned about any maintenance issues or anything like that. Just think about in your own home, if you own a home or anybody that does own a home, if the roof or the toilet goes out, they don't call Wells Fargo, they don't call Bank of America, they don't call their lending institution. They have to deal with it themselves, but that payment still has to come in. And that is what you're essentially doing when you're purchasing a note. You're becoming the bank and you are collecting those payments. You also have the ability to purchase properties throughout country. Obviously, I'm in New Jersey, and people say, well, how can I buy anything in New Jersey because everything is so expensive? You don't necessarily have to be bound to New Jersey due to the fact that you don't have any responsibility to the maintenance of the property. You can invest anywhere in the country. So you have a lot of areas where people have 2-3 bedroom houses with 2 bathrooms in it for less than 100,000. And that's a very nice property, and it's usually in a nice area. So you can look for areas throughout the U.S. that fit the amount of money that you have to invest. So that's the great thing about it as well. It gives you that freedom to invest throughout the U.S. and whatever can accommodate the amount of money that you have in your account or that you feel comfortable investing. So there are 3 types of notes. You have what are called performing notes, non-performing, or what we call sub-performing, and then you have re-performing. The performing note is that someone is paying every month and has been paying for an extended period of time, usually 12 months or more. So that means that person, those people that live in the house are good payers. They pay every month, and you have the ability to purchase those notes and feeling secure that you're going to receive that money every month. Now, once again, even with a performing note, you always, have to prepare yourself for worst case scenario that life happens to someone and it may go into the next category. It may go into what's called a non-performing or sub-performing, meaning that the person, for whatever reason, is not paying or makes payments sporadically. May pay this month, may skip next month, may then pay that third month, maybe skip 2 months, and then make payments in 5 or 6 months. So that's kind of a sub-performing. And then non-performing just means that they have stopped paying altogether for whatever reason, loss of job, illness, life just happens to certain people and then they can't make that mortgage payment. So we have the ability to purchase what are called non-performing or sub-performing notes as well. And then what we have, third category is re-performing. That just means that at one time it was either non-performing or sub-performing, and the borrower has got back on track, so to speak, and has been making payments, probably not for an extended period of time, like more than a year. They may have been on track maybe for the last 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, something like that. And we call that re-performing. And so again, I just explained, those three different types. And so we're going to talk about some of the exit strategies, with notes. If you buy a performing note, usually you're not going to have to exit that. It's just the person is paying and you're just be collecting the payments. That money, again, will be going straight into your retirement at whatever interest rate was on the note. And so you can feel pretty confident about that. Now, in case something does go wrong, as we're in this time right now, some people are paying and can continue to pay, but if they aren't able to go back to work or their job doesn't bring them back, they could fall into, their non-performing status and stop paying. Here are some of the things that you can do. Obviously, you can do foreclosure. We always want to use that as a last resort, being as though that you are the note holder. You have the ability to reach out to the customer once they get into that non-paying status and see if you can work something out with them. Other exit strategies are what's called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Some people understand that, look, I can't afford it anymore, and what they'll do is just deed the property over to you. If you forgive the remaining balance, they'll take what's called cash for keys. Maybe you can give them some money so they can just find an apartment or another place to live, and then now you have the property back, and then you can, rent it out to someone else. You can do a lot of different things once you have the property or you take the property back. Again, what we talked about here is a loan modification. You can do a forbearance like a lot of people are doing right now. Let people, give them a couple of months or whatever to not pay so they can get back on their feet. That would be a forbearance. And then some of those payments will be restructured and put on the back end of the loan or at the end of the loan. You can also do a loan modification. You can change the terms of the loan to maybe fit the person's situation currently. Maybe they got a different job, not making as much money. You can, fix the numbers to make it so that the borrower can start to pay. So these are, again, some of the exit strategies that you can use. And as you can see, you can be a little bit more flexible as a note holder to help someone through their situation. And then also you can do short sales or short payoff. The person, could put the property out there. And in that example that I was given is that maybe you're owed $60,000. The property is worth 100. Maybe somebody would pay, 50,000 or more for that particular property. And so you're taking a short payoff in that instance. So that still allows you to recoup all of your initial investment plus, make some money on that particular property. So, these are some of the things that you can do to make sure, again, that you lower that risk of anything going bad and you losing your money. And so that's, some of the really good positive things that I like about, note investing as opposed to being a landlord and things of that nature. So, with that being said, I just wanted to bring this idea to people that if you have any of these accounts and you want to maybe take more control of the money, use it to invest in real estate in some form or fashion, you have the opportunity to do that. If you are interested in that or have questions in regards to, the presentation that I just gave, you can reach out to me. My website is www.abundancecapitalgroup.com. My telephone number is 973-475-8488. You can always email me at acg@abundancecapitalgroup.com. you can send me an email there, and then we can maybe have a phone conversation after that. But I would definitely strongly consider that people try to take a little bit more control, of the money that they've been working for and putting into these accounts, and look for other opportunities so that your retirement account will grow faster, it will grow quicker, and put yourself in a better position for when you do retire. And again, there is going to be some opportunity. There are opportunities out there right now, just depending on what it is that you're looking for and what your goals are. And then, like I said, there's probably going to be some more opportunities going into 2021, in the first quarter of 2021, in terms of real estate. So I appreciate everyone taking the time to, watch this presentation. I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis. So if you have other people that, may be interested in this and looking into this opportunity, you know, I will be sending out reminders of when I will be doing it again. Also, what you can do with this is that if you do know people that have these accounts, you can partner your money with theirs to do an investment, and you can split the profits, equally, or a certain percentage, depending on how much money you put in, how much money the other person puts in, certain percentage of any profits, or in this case, if there are payments being made, if there's $100 payment being made and you split it 50-50, you would get 50, the other person would get 50. But if the split is different, let's say it's 70-30, you would get $30 of that 100. The other person would get $70 every month of that example going back into their account. So you can do that as well if you feel comfortable with someone, and you want to partner with them and kind of get involved in some of these opportunities that are available now and are coming up. You can do that as well. So again, just wanted to kind of present the idea. That's what this was for. If we want to, talk a little bit more in depth and all the possibilities, or you have specific questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and we can discuss. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a safe weekend, because this is Saturday. Enjoy yourself, be safe, and we'll talk again soon.